Hello, good afternoon. So, Happy New Year to all of us. Let's now start our lesson for today. Our lesson for today is about the executive branch of our government. So, ano bang nilalaman ng executive branch, 'di ba? So, let's review. There are three main branches of the government: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary branch of our government. Our first lesson about the branches of the government is the executive branch. So the executive branch carries out laws. It is composed of the president and the vice president who are elected by direct popular vote and serve a term of 6 years. So the main two positions in the executive branch is the president and the vice president. Then those positions were filled because of election. So ang mga nakatalaga doon ay naihahalal through election. So ang kanilang term ay 6 years. So nakikita nyo ba yung aking um, wait lang ha. Anong nangyari? So ayan, so naihahalal natin ang mga naitatalaga sa President and Vice President. The Constitution grants the President authority to appoint his cabinet. So here, ang Presidente ang naglalagay ng mga personnel as a chairman or secretary sa iba't ibang cabinet niya. These departments form a large portion of the country's bureaucracy. So, ang mga iba't ibang departments under executive branch ay ina-appoint ng president. So, the key roles of the executive branch. Ano ba ang mga ginagampanan ng mga nasa executive branch or department? So, first one is the president. He is the commander-in-chief. Commander-in-chief sa all armed forces of the Philippines. So, it means that sa PNP, sa Navy, sa Philippine Army, sa Philippine Navy, sa Philippine Air Force, siya ang pinaka-head nila. He is the commander-in-chief of all armed forces of the Philippines. The president serves a 6 year term and cannot be re-elected. So kapag nahalal ang presidente, mayroon siyang 6 years to serve our country and hindi siya pwedeng ma-re-elect. So minsan lang maging isang presidente ang isang tao or ang isang naihahalal. Okay? Sino naman ang vice president natin? So, remind you, our president is President Rodrigo Duterte. Right? Kilala naman natin siya. The vice president is Leni Robredo. The vice president supports the president. If the president is unable to serve, the vice president becomes the president. He or she serves a 6 years term. So the president and the vice president serves 6 years sa kanilang termino. So ang ginagawa daw ng vice president is the support of the president. Kapag biglang namatay ang presidente, ang vice president ang maihahalili sa president na position. Yes. So, next is the cabinet. Ano bang tinatawag nating cabinet, 'di ba? The cabinet members serve as advisors to the president. They include the Vice President and the Head of Executive Department. Cabinet members are nominated by the President and must be confirmed by the Commission of Appointments. So, ang iba't ibang cabinet members includes the Vice President, ang mga iba't ibang secretary sa iba't ibang departments. So, here are the cabinet of the Philippine under Rodrigo Duterte. So, let's see. So the executive secretary is Salvador Medialde. The cabinet secretary is Leoncio Evasco. The foreign affairs secretary is Perfecto Yasay. The finance secretary is Carlo Dominguez III. Updated to. Um, So, maya't mayang pinapalitan ng presidente ang mga secretary. Bakit kaya? If the secretary didn't meet the yung mga hinihiling ng presidente, pinapalitan niya ang mga nakahalal sa bawat position. So, kung pwede kanyang i-appoint, pwede ka din niyang tanggalin. So, as you can see, the most popular secretary is Leonor Briones, the Secretary of Department of Education. Maingay ba? Then, so Gina Lopez died, so nahalili na siya or may kapalit na siya. But then again, these are the cabinet members when Rodrigo Duterte started his term. Yan. So these are the different departments in our cabinet. So Department of Transportation, Department of Tourism and Industry, Department of in DILG, Interior Local Government, Department of Foreign Affairs, Department of Tourism, DSWD, Department of Social Works and Development, Department of Energy, and many more. So, bawat ahensya ng gobyerno ay nag-a-appoint ang presidente with the approval of the Committee of Appointment ng specific secretaries or chairman sa bawat agency. Next is the eligibility. Ano ba ang eligibility ng mga pwedeng maihalal or mai-appoint sa bawat agency or department? According to Article 7, Section 2 of the Constitution, no person may be elected president unless he is a natural-born citizen of the Philippines, a registered voter, able to read and write, at least 40 years of age on the day of the election, and a resident of the Philippines for at least 10 years immediately preceding such election. So, to be elected as a president, or pag magpapasa ka ng candidacy mo, you should be a natural-born citizen. Dugong Pinoy ka dapat. You are a registered voter. You can read and write. And you are at least 40 years old. And dapat you are a resident of the Philippines for at least 10 years. So before, there was a controversy when Grace Poe was vying for the when Grace Poe decided to run for presidency, so they questioned his or her citizenship because we all know that Grace Poe is not a natural born citizen. She has a blood of American. So ayan. So ang mga pwede lang maging presidente or maging candidate as the president are those natural-born citizen, dugong Pinoy. The Constitution also provides term limits where the president is eligible for re-election, and a person who has succeeded as president and has served as such for more than 4 years will be ineligible to be elected for the second term. So any person elected to the position of president is only entitled for one term, which is 6 years. But if you're a vice president and your president died, tas ikaw ang pumalit and pumalit ka doon for 4 years, that will be considered as one term. So you won't be able to run for presidency because naka 4 years ka na. So let's all be reminded that the position for president and vice president will only be um, 6 years lang and one term. Okay? Election. The president is elected by direct vote every 6 years, usually on the second Monday of May. The returns of every election for president and vice president, duly certified by the board of canvassers of each province or city, shall be transmitted to Congress directed to the president of the Senate. So, ang election ay nangyayari every 6 years. And it is usually done during May, the month of May. Ayan. Then before, we used the paper and pencil process in conducting the election, but then again, we had the PCOS machine. So that was a transition the from the paper and pencil to electronic one. But then again, because of the transition from the tradition to technological based election, there was this issue regarding the nagkakaroon daw ng uh, hindi pagtutugma, di ba? Hindi tugma yung lumalabas na papel sa lumalabas na electronic result. So, may pandadaya daw doon. Upon receipt of the certificates of canvass, the President of the Senate shall open all the certificates in the presence of a joint public session of Congress not later than 30 days after the election. Congress then canvasses the votes upon determining that the poll are authentic and were done in the manner provided by the law. So this process was through the election, the traditional election. So, yung mga canvases daw, yung mga results of election by province, by district, will be sent to the President of the Senate. So, that is Franklin Drilon. Para pagsama-samahin niya, titignan nyo kung nag-jive ba talaga yung result. The person with the highest number of votes is declared the winner. But in case two or more than the highest number of votes, the president is elected by a majority of all the members of both houses, voting separately on each. So, kapag daw nag-tie, so ang mag-tiebreaker are the members of the houses, yung mga senators at ang mga congress. Sila ang magta-tiebreak. So, what are the powers of the president? Beside the Constitution, the power of the President of the Philippines are specifically outlined in Executive Order Number 292, Series of 1987, otherwise known as the Administrative Code of 1987. So ano ba ang mga powers ng ating presidente? Bukod sa pagiging Commander-in-Chief ng all armed forces of the Philippines. Number 1, the power of control over the executive branch. So siya ang pinakamataas sa position ng executive branch at may power siya over sa mga nasa baba niya. The President of the Philippines has the mandate of control over all the executive department, bureaus, and offices. This includes restructuring, reconfiguring, and appointment of their respective officials. The Administrative Code also provides for the President to be responsible for the above-mentioned offices' strict implementation of law. So, ang presidente ang parang overseeker sa mga officials under niya. So, kapag parang sa ano lang sa klase, 'di ba? Kapag sinusunod nyo yung class president nyo, kapag you're just a member of the class, 'di ba? Ayan, parang ganyan lang yan. may may power siya over sa pinakadulong dulo sa posisyon. Yan. May power ang presidente mula sa vice president hanggang sa mayor hanggang sa barangay official yan. So, the most powerful position in the government is the president. So, the power, ordinance, power, ano ba to? The President of the Philippines has the power to give executive issues, which are meant to streamline the policy and programs of an administration. There are 6 issuances the President may issue. They are the following as defined in the Administrative Code of 1987. So, may power ang President na mag-issue ng mga ordinances, EO executive order, mga memorandum or memoranda, mga ganun. Ano ba yung mga yon? Yun yung mga laws, mga rules na kailangang sundin ng mga Pilipino. Mga ganun. So ano ba yung mga, ito. The first one is the executive order, as I have said a while ago. Acts of the President providing for rules of a general or permanent character in implementation or execution of constitutional or statutory power shall be promulgated in executive order. So, ito ang mga utos ng Presidente, executive order. So, just like the executive order of the President to prohibit the entry of travelers from United Kingdom, mga ganon. So that was the latest EO of the President, prohibiting the travelers to enter the Philippines because of the new strand of the virus. Mga ganon. So that is an example of executive order. Inuutos ng Presidente, executive order. Inuutos ng Presidente na bawal bumiyahe ang sino mang taga United Kingdom dito sa Pilipinas. Mga ganon. Administrative order. Acts of the President which related to particular aspect of governmental operation in pursuance of his duties as administrative head shall be promulgated in administrative order. So ito naman kapag administrative order, it specifically lang sa isang department ng gobyerno. Kapag nagkaroon ng, for example, sino yun? For example, naglabas ng administrative order ang presidente na pinapayagan na ang mga guro na magbakasyon kahit kalagitnaan ng semestre, pwede yun. Because that is specifically concern lang siya sa specific agency ng gobyerno. Ang ganun. Kapag executive order, lahat yun. Apektado lahat. Ina-apply sa lahat. Okay? Kapag administrative order, specific agency ang pinopoint ng order na yan. Proclamations. Acts of the President fixing a date or declaring status of or condition of public moments or interests, upon the existence of which the operation of a specific law or regulation is made to depend, shall be promulgated in proclamation which shall have the force of an executive order. So, the examples of proclamations, the different examples of proclamations are the holidays or the pinoproclaim na that specific place is a historic place, mga ganon. So, for ano lang, public interest. Ganon. Next, memorandum order. Acts of the President on matter of administrative details or of subordinate or temporary interests which only concern a particular office or office of the government shall be embodied in memorandum order. So, memorandum order is just like the administrative order, but a memo order is more specific. Parang, so the administrative order is for Department of Education. A memorandum order is the division of Isabela. Mga ganon. It is a more specific order from the President. Memorandum Circular. Acts of the President on matter relating to the internal administration, which the President desires to bring to the attention of all and some of the department, agencies, bureaus, or office of the government for information or compliance shall be embodied in memorandum circular. So, addition, a memorandum is parang may inuutos siya or parang may gusto siyang mangyari, mga ganon. Then, a memorandum order or a memorandum circular ay it concerns a lot. So, inuutos niya ang, for example, the Department of Education, as I have said, a memorandum order will specifically concern a specific division, which is maybe Region 2. But if becomes a memorandum circular, pwede niya itong gawing Department of Education National. Mga ganun. Okay, Department of Tourism and Industry National. Circular, lahat. General Order. Acts and commands of the President in his capacity as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines shall be issued as general or specific or special order. So kapag it concerns the Armed Forces of the Philippines, PNP, BGNP, Navy, Air Force, in the order, general order yan. Next power is the power over aliens. The President of the Philippines has certain power over non-Filipinos in the Philippines. The power he may exercise over foreigners in the countries are the following. So, the alien here are not the terrestrial, yung mga alien talaga na di natin nakikita. The power over alien here, or the word alien, refers to the foreigners, yung mga hindi citizen ng Pilipinas. So, foreigners are the aliens, okay? The chief executive may have an alien in the Philippines deported from the country after due process. So, may power ang presidente na palayasin ang isang foreigner dito sa Pilipinas. So, kapag may you talked against the so there was an issue before, this specific sister, she's always against the administration of the or the yung mga pinapatupad na mga rules, orders ng ating president. That was a sister. So, palagi siyang against the government. Ang ginawa ng presidente, pinalayas niya yung sister dito sa Pilipinas. Pinadeport niya. So, that is the power of the president. Pwede niyang palayasin ang mga foreigner. The president may change the status of a foreigner as prescribed by law from an immigrant status to a permanent resident status without necessity of visa. So kapag may power siyang palayasin ka, may power din siyang i-grant ang citizenship mo dito. So there are a lot of foreigners that wants to reside here. So may power ang president na i-citizenship ka niya or maging citizen ka dito sa Pilipinas. Next one. The president may choose to overrule the boards of commissioners of the Bureau of Immigration before their decision becomes final and executory. The Board of Commissioners of the Bureau of Immigration has jurisdiction over all deportation cases. So sabi nga, may power ang presidente para i-deport ang isang alien, ang isang foreigner, and may power ang president to overrule. Overrule meaning parang veto lang siya. So kapag nag-decide ang Commission of Immigration na palayasin sanang specific na foreigner na to. But then, the president overruled it. Nag-against siya and kinip niya yung foreigner na yun. Pwede yun. Because the president has a power over the Bureau of Immigration. So, for example, ako, I'm like, Amerikana ako. Then, yung visa ko nag-expire na. So, hindi na ako pwedeng manatili dito sa Pilipinas. So the Bureau of Immigration decided to give me yung i-deport na ako ng Bureau of Immigration. But then again, the president was informed that I am doing parang community, nag-help ako sa community. Tumutulong ako sa mahihirap. Then na yung presidente ay na-touch sa mga ginagawa ko. So, in-overrule niya yung decision of immigration to deport me. Instead, ginawa niya akong citizen dito sa Pilipinas. Pwede yon. Because that is one of the powers of the president. Yan. Next one. The president is also mandated by the Administrative Code of 1987 to exercise power as recognized by the generally accepted principles of international law. So, ang power ng presidente ay hindi lamang dito sa Pilipinas, pero meron din siyang specific or certain powers under international law because the president represents the Philippines sa mga international conventions or peace talks. Next. Power of eminent domain, escheat, land reservation, and recovery of ill-gotten wealth. The President of the Philippines has the authority to exercise the power of eminent domain. The power of eminent domain means that the state has the power to seize or authorize the seizure of private property for public use with just compensation. So may power ang presidente na kunin ang ating mga ari-arian. Ayan. There are two constitutional provisions, however, the limit of exercise of such power. Pero may limitations yon. Number 1, of the constitutional provides that no person shall be deprived of his or her life. So, the number 1 reflects to the Section 1 Bill of Rights. So, yan. Ay, Section 9. So, Article 3 sa Constitution is the Bill of Rights, yung mga karapatang pantao. Number 2, provides that private property shall not be taken for public use without just compensation. So, without just compensation ay kinuha mo kahit na walang kapalit, mga ganun. Kinuha ni President yung lupain nyo na hindi ka binibigyan ng bayad. Hindi pwede yun. Ganun. Pag nanakaw na yun kapag. Next is once the aforementioned conditions are met, the president may exercise the power of eminent domain, which are as follows. So, ayun, yung eminent domain ay yung pwedeng kuhanin yung mga properties with just compensation naman. Babayaran yung lupain nyo, ganun. For example, meron akong sports complex. Kasi yayamanin ako, may sports complex ako. Tapos, hindi ko naman yun nagagamit. Tapos, instead of magpapagawa ang ating gobyerno ng sports complex na ay nila yung sports complex ko, pwede nilang bilhin yung sports complex ko. Basta babayaran ako syempre, pero hindi nila pwedeng kunin yung sports complex ko na walang bayad, na libre, ganun. So that is against the eminent domain na kapag. Next is the power of appointment. So, as I have said a while ago, the president, with the approval of the Commission of Appointment, appoints people sa different bureau ng ating gobyerno. So, he has the power to appoint. Okay? power of general supervision over local government. So sabi ko nga kanina, the president has power over the vice president up until to the barangay captain sa bawat barangay. So that is the local government. Other powers. So diplomatic power, ito yung mga international talks, di ba? Yan. Budgetary power sa finance department, military power, commander-in-chief, control power, and the veto power. So the veto power is applied sa mga bills na on process, pwede niyang i-veto yun. Veto, wag. Ganun. Pipigilan niya or mag-a-against siya sa isang bill na isinusulong. Ganun. And no more. That ends our executive branch. Okay? So ayan, that is executive branch.